Hello everyone! Here we have a video requested by the Utmost Geek, who wants a video demonstrating how I service my fans, basically. So I thought I'd choose one. I don't really have any vintage fans. Actually, maybe, I don't know. I'll demonstrate it because it's like, in 1993 Astor 12-inch desk fan, because why not? But if you want to look like all the stuff that I use, there's actually quite a bit here. Like in terms of screwdrivers, this is what I typically use, like one Phillips head like this and two different sizes of flatheads, just in case, you know. Sometimes, like that cool, they might allow you to use both Phillips and flat, which is very nice. So I'll be using those. In terms of the oils, we have these two. Typically, from my experience, stuff like the Singer sewing machine oil, Zoom Spout, and the 3-in-1 oil in the blue can are best used for motors. From my experience, Singer, I haven't used the blue can, but the Singer has been more effective than the Zoom Spout, for example. I say this because there are certain oils that I do see other collectors use that might be off limits, like WD-40. I still have WD-40 around, however, because it's very helpful if there's ever like a seized screw or seized oscillator or seized motor. It's very helpful for unseizing, but it's not a lubricant, just so you're aware. Still useful to keep, but as something to unseize, it's very good for that. I've also seen people use the 3-in-1 in the red can. That's also, I'd say, is not good for motors. Like, you want to try and get the blue can if you can, but if you can't get the blue can, that's fine, because you've always got the Singer and the Zoom Spout. These are both designed for, yes, you can see this one actually says it on here. They're both designed and like, yeah, they're designed to be used on like motors and whatnot. I also have two pairs of pliers in case anything gets stuck, because being realistic, it can. For cleaning it, I've been using these recently, these wipes. However, if you don't have these, that's fine. You can get these for packets of 6 on Amazon or eBay. I also use like wet wipes if I don't have any, or for external components like the grill, blade, motor housing. Just a sink full of some hot soapy water can give them a good scrub. Now I found like this, it has you can't see it, but it's got a little zip tie up there, so usually I remove the screw. Yeah. There's also a container of spanners. I want to use the lid as well to hold all the screws in the correct, to hold all the screws as well so you don't lose them. That's what I recommend. But the spanners are going to be helpful if there's any nuts holding the motor together that are stuck. But yeah. First things first is like the obvious, which is just take the grill blades and whatnot off. Should probably actually also unplug the fan first before you work on it. Don't do what I've done before and accidentally left it plugged in and shocked yourself because of it. Yes, I've been a bit of a moron. Do that because, yeah, it's not running perfect, you know. Let's take these blades off. Yeah, it's a bit stiff. The grills, they come apart how each different manufacturer does. Motor casing we've got to take apart as well. This is where screws can start getting involved, so this is where having like a lid container like this could be helpful, because you could basically keep all your screws aligned all in here, so you know like which screw goes where and you don't lose any. Perfect. And hold on, I'll be back in a minute. Packet of smaller screwdrivers, mainly so I can pry out this motor housing, because I hate these. I hate prying out these motor housings. So it's got to be done. Scared me a bit. And you're just going to need your Phillips head to remove these screws. me. I'll typically start with the side ones and then leave the top one for last, but I'm just doing it this way because I can. One thing you can also do is, if you use like a little container like I do, you can like align them in a container so you know exactly which way they're meant to be put in, which screw goes where. It's not necessarily a requirement really because, well, these screws are identical, so it's not really going to matter hugely, but I just like to do it as well. Now we got front piece off. Now I go to the motor itself. Now in this model you can see it does have oil ports right there, which is very helpful. So usually you're just going to like dump your oil down there. If I was being a bit lazy, I don't want to properly fully disassemble the motor because I don't have like, because you know sometimes you might just not have the time, that's fair. I usually try and find like holes that lead down to the oil wicks, which are just basically right here where the bearings are, and we'll dump some oil down there to try and get to the oil wicks without disassembling the motor. It's very helpful if like the motor is very open, but this one isn't, so it doesn't really help. But yeah, if the motor is very open, it'll be very helpful for that. Basically just saves time. But I'll go for the full motor disassembly for this video. I don't always do this, but I'll do it for this. It also has a sticker which says 93 on it. Screw. Screw number 2. Finally, screw number 3 for the oscillator. I also recommend taking off like the capacitor as well, especially with these. And also keep it with like the oscillator screws so you know exactly which screw is which, because on this one the capacitor screws are a bit longer. Yeah, if you can, try to remove the oscillator arm as well. Like that, because it just makes things easier. It's not a requirement, but it makes things easier. Usually being done on my screw. If it's not, it might be a bit annoying, however. Now I'm going for the motor disassembly. I'll probably say you also got to take out this bit. This bit is really for holding the blades in, but it has to come out for the motor to come out of it. Guess we could start beginning by taking apart the motor. Yeah. They're a bit stiff. Come on. Oh yeah, they're stuck. Luckily they're also designed to take flat heads as well, so I'm going to try a flat head. This is where pliers can come in helpful, because pliers can actually make good spanners. Right? You can use pliers to hold a nut in place. Like that. Off comes nut number 1. Off comes a screw with it. Like that. I think we'll start here. Yeah, it seems like all of these are like stuck a bit. All these nuts. They're turning, but not tight loosening, so you're going to need to grip them with pliers or a spanger. Pliers make good spanners, so that's what surprises me a lot. Pliers are actually really good as spanners. Out comes number 2. The problem is this one hooked up with an earth cable, so don't forget to put that earth cable back in when you disassemble the motor. I know it's got oil pores, but I'm going to fully disassemble it just for the video. Nut number 3. And finally, the one with the earth cable is nut number 4. Yeah, if you do have good time, I would recommend trying to get to the oil wicks as best as you can by stripping it down. Sometimes the fan oil wicks might be that open that you don't need to, however. Sometimes they might be. But if you're lucky, they might be, but it's not always guaranteed. Just don't forget the earth cable goes there. Next up we need to take out this bit here, because it's stiffened up a bit because the motor's a bit loose. This piece needs to come out next. Oh, should have actually taken it out before disassembling the motor, or before removing those screws. It'll make life easier. Yeah, you just bang on it one side, typically which side looks the most loose, and pull it out like that. Now we can take the whole motor apart. There we go. And we do this because if you look there, don't know if you can see that, the oil wicks are right there, and yeah, they look quite dry. They look quite dry. That cord actually reaches very far. So next thing's next to do, because I don't really need to clean it, we oil it. I've been going 13 minutes on this recording. I don't want it to be too long because 64 gigs of storage on this phone. Yeah, yeah. It's the reason I don't record in 4K. I don't have the space. If you ever take off spacer rings from the rotor shaft, really make sure they're put back on before you reassemble the motor. Never forget that, because spacer rings are important for a motor. I guess the next thing to do is now rest it there. As you can see, I've done that. And now we just, don't know if you can see that, but just put oil around these oil wicks. Lots of oil. So the reason why I also say bring a tea towel, I forgot to mention that. I say that to wipe up any excess if you get it everywhere. It happens. But yeah, we put lots of oil in there. I also like to put oil inside where the shaft goes through. I don't know if it actually helps or not, but it might make stuff a bit smoother. So I'd recommend doing that as well. Put oil there. Right, that's the front bearing done. Nice and lubricated. And we need to take out the rotor like this. This is the rotor. Spacer ring parts of it just came out like that, so that's a bit fun, because as you can see there is the back piece. I typically do it with this on because I'm too lazy to take it off, but you can see the back bearings in there, and it's also dried up. Because of this distance, this one does get a bit messy. Oh yeah, that's well oiled. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's well oiled. I'll wipe up the excess of that. Oh no, no. ports are not the most effective, but definitely worth it if you can. Make sure to put all of this back on. Which way does this go on? I really don't remember. Either way, always never forget to put these like spacer rings on. They're very important. I know they're only plastic, but they are very important for these motors. So yeah, really make sure. I think I probably put it on backwards, but it doesn't matter. As long as it's on, you're good to go. Actually, you know, I'm gonna give some extra oil for this one. It's probably not needed, but I'll do it. As you can't see in there, but there's a little bit of excess. If you see a little bit of excess, just wipe it up. That's all you really got to do. Just use like a tea towel or tissue or something and just wipe it up. Now we can put the motor back together. Without doing that. We can put the motor back together. Make sure the spacer rings are in, correct? Make sure the spacer rings are in. Especially if you've got Exploratorus fans, really make sure that you've aligned up these holes. So if you have an Exploratorus fan, the motors will just go on wherever. So I'll double check once you hold the motor together, can the screw thread all the way? Because if it can't, you're going to need to take a motor apart or not. At T16 I had to disassemble the motor 3 times because I kept missing it. Another really important one is another thing I could also say, demonstrate, especially with Exploratorus fans again, make sure the oscillator fits. Make sure the oscillator fits. If the oscillator fits, you're good to go and you can reassemble the motor. But just make sure it fits, especially with Exploratorus fans. The amount of times I've accidentally put the back piece on sideways, it gets really annoying really quickly. So yeah, don't forget to do that. Now I think, which one was it that you would put the earth one on? I actually don't remember. So, you know, always a good start. I actually cannot remember. I think it goes on that. I'll probably thread that one through first. Like that. And then you just stick the nut on. And you can tighten it up with your fingers. But not like hugely, it's so it can like hold together still, you know? And then I typically like to do the one on the opposite side next. Just so at least it's got something holding it together properly. You could just tighten it with your fingers for now, and you can like properly tighten it with like a screwdriver and pliers once you get them all on. Yeah, I would say, yeah. Hopefully if I remember, I'll also do a video on how to strip down and service an Exploratorus fan, you know? I just realised I put this screw, I've realised that the screw for the earth cable actually was a bit different from the rest and I used the wrong screw. Oh well, it happens. So you can see it's already metal connected to there, so yeah, it's a bit loose there, but it's not the end of the world. Because, I mean, the metal's already connected to the motor. Because it is earth. If it was like live or neutral, I would be worried about that. But it's earth, so you don't have to be as worried. Earth is a safety feature. Why modern fan manufacturers just don't use the earth cable? I don't know why. But is there a particular reason for that? Or can I just not be bothered? Because truth be told, I actually have no idea. Right, are they putting more trust? Is it? Because I know in modern vans they have like thermal fuses and double insulation and whatnot, even though the thermal fuse doesn't work half the time. Because it's a bit stiff, you also want to make sure to realign the bearings. The bearings are not very aligned on this. Let's double check it. I forgot I left on line. But you can see the motor still runs. Also, if you really want to work in the oil, doing that from my experience is actually quite effective at working in the oil. It works with unseizing a jet. I had to like twist it really aggressively like that, and it finally came free, because I've never had a fan so jammed before. Like it took like multiple squares of WD-40 to unseize it. Like it was that bad. Don't always forget to hammer this back in, mainly. I'm really not that happy with, if I'm being honest. Okay. Let me try and figure this out, hang on. Right, I believe I've managed to get it better. I just didn't put some oil down like two bearing shafts where the shaft goes through. I put some oil. I took apart the motor and dumped a lot of oil down there. It seems to make it freer, but hey, we'll just see what happens. Next, we'll just go reassemble everything together. I should have actually didn't realign the bearings. What am I doing? Oh well. Once I put all this back together, I think just go through realigning the bearings, you know, whatnot. Really just has a lot of bits, to be honest. It really was just taking tons of ice for that. Should probably actually re-put the oscillator on back. However, I have just realised that. How does that... SMC head wires are just weird. Right, I didn't think I would encounter this issue. Let me resolve it. Okay. I've reassembled it again, and we're back to the same stage, just with this flipped. So, yeah, now the oscillator arm's actually going on, so Yeah, I had a re-look back at the footage, and yeah, it turns out I just put the head wire on the wrong side. Like a bit of an idiot. Oh well. It'll do. It'll do. You know? It'll do. I'd rather not disassemble this fan for like a 5th time. You start at the top. And we got the bottom one in. Then you do the side ones. In my opinion, that's the best way I found to put this together. Now we've got a bit of an issue with this head wire. Ooh, that's, I just realised that's a lot of oil has been built up here. It's the reason why I recommend having a tea towel on hand at all times to basically remove any excess oil. I don't like these motor housings, if I'm being honest. Looking at it, next up we just put the oscillation back in. Well, I'm pretty sure you would know already, like, by this point, how this works. It doesn't really need to clean, so I never bothered with the cleaning part, but if you're going to clean like a motor housing, piece, make sure it's properly dry before putting it back together. There you go, just make sure. Okay, let me double check that. Yeah, so it's a bit stiff, but it'll do. It'll do. It'll do. Yeah, as you can see, it's not perfect, but it'll do. The oil will hopefully work its way into the fan. These clips are great. And now we run it. There we go. It's, yeah, still a bit quick, but it's at least been properly lubricated, because I don't know if you saw, but the oil wicks were a bit dry. But yeah, that's it for this video for this. I hope you learned something this time. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and see ya!